Hello students, today we'll discuss different topics regarding verbs as what is verb, its classification, main verbs like transitive and intransitive verb, then about objects, direct and indirect object. We'll do the detailed study of all these topics with examples. So let's begin. What is verb? A verb tells us something about a person or thing. We can define the verb this way. It is a word or group of words which says what a person or a thing is, has or does, or what happens or is done to a person or a thing. Let's understand with the help of examples. A verb states about a person or thing, as Shakespeare was the greatest dramatist. Next, this is a big house. So, in these examples, verbs was and is are being verbs. The verb was tells about the Shakespeare being greatest dramatist, and the verb is tells about the house being big. Next is possession of a person or thing. We have a beautiful house. The clock has two hands. Have and has show the possession or belongingness. Have tells about we. We have a beautiful house. And next has tells about clock. The clock has two hands. Next are action verbs or doing verbs. What a person or thing does, as the baby laughs and the clock strikes. Laughs and strikes both are action verbs. Laughs tells us what the baby does and strikes tells us what the clock does. She laughs and the clock strikes. So such doing words or action words are called verbs. Now classification of verbs. We can divide the verbs into two classes, main verbs and auxiliary verbs. Main verbs may be further divided into two classes, transitive verb and intransitive verb. These are the action verbs or doing verbs. On the other hand, auxiliary verbs are also divided into two classes. First one is primary auxiliary. For example, be, have, do. Be is being verbs. Is, am, are, was, were are the examples of be verb. Next is to have. Has, have, had. These verbs show the possession. And then to do verbs. They are do, does, or did. These verbs are used for negative and interrogative sentences. As she does not like to watch television. Please do come. They did not go for picnic. Second category of auxiliary verb is modal auxiliary. Will, would, shall, should, can, could, may, might, must, ought to, etc. Now we will learn about transitive and intransitive verbs. A transitive verb is one which requires an object to complete its sense. Students, the word transit means to carry the people or things from one place to another. So, in the same way, a transitive verb denotes or represents an action which passes over from the subject to an object. Let's see the examples. Rohan plays football. Plays is a transitive verb as it has object football with it. The verb plays signifies an action which passes over from the subject Rohan to the object football. Next example, she sings a song. Sings is a transitive verb as it has object a song with it. The verb sings indicates an action which passes over from the subject she to the object a song. Students, before we learn about intransitive verb, now let us learn how to find out the object in a sentence. Look at these examples and the questions that follow. The hunter killed the lion. Killed what? This is the question. Answer is the lion. So the lion is the object of the verb. He helps the poor. Helps whom? The poor. The poor is the answer and the poor is the object of the verb. My mother loves me. Loves whom? Me. Me is the answer. So me is the object of the verb. So all these are transitive verbs: killed, helps, and loves. So it is clear that if we frame a question using the verb and the word what or whom, the word that answers the question is called the object of the transitive verb. Most transitive verbs take a single object, but there are some transitive verbs like give, offer, tell, ask, promise, sell, lend, etc., which take two objects after them. The first object after the verb is called indirect object, which indicates the person to whom something is given or for whom something is done. The next object which indicates something that is given or told or sold, etc. See the examples. He gifted me a watch. Here in this sentence, me is indirect object. This is the person to whom a watch, that is direct object, a watch is given. In the next example, a man told a story to me. Students, concentrate on this point. In this example, direct object a story is written close to the verb told and before the indirect object me. In this case, the preposition to is placed before the indirect object me, and this indirect object becomes the object of the preposition to. So in these examples, gifted and told are the transitive verbs as they have direct objects a watch and a story with them. Now students, let us learn about intransitive verb. How to find out intransitive verb in a sentence. This verb doesn't require an object to complete its sense. It is complete in itself. Consider these given examples. Birds fly. We can't ask questions. Birds fly what? It makes good sense by itself. Baby sleeps. We can't ask baby sleeps what? Boy laughs what? These sentences are complete without objects. So such verbs as fly, sleeps and laughs are intransitive verbs. Now students, notice these pictures. In the first picture, the boy plays football. Plays is transitive verb, and by raising question what boy plays, we get the answer football. So football is the object of the transitive verb. Next, the baby laughs. Laughs is intransitive verb without object. And next, birds fly. Fly is again intransitive verb without object. So these verbs laughs and fly do not require the objects to complete their sense. Most verbs can be used both as transitive and as intransitive verbs. Let's see how. Consider the first example. The boy flies the kite. What the boy flies? Answer is the kite. So the kite is object of the transitive verb flies. In the opposite column, the birds flew away. Here there is no object, so flew is intransitive verb. She wrote a letter. What she wrote? A letter. So wrote is transitive verb and has the object a letter. On the other side, she writes well. Writes is intransitive verb and does not require any object. Next, the driver stopped the train. The train is object, so it is transitive verb. The train stopped suddenly. No object is there, so it is intransitive verb. The boys are playing tennis. Tennis is object, so are playing is transitive verb. The girls are playing in the playground. Students, concentrate here. In this example, we do not have the object, and the playground is the object of the preposition in, not of the verb are playing. Students, I hope this video has cleared your each and every doubt regarding transitive and intransitive verb. Please subscribe, like and comment if you have any query. Thanks for watching and bye for now.